What is going on, everybody? How's everybody out there? We are about to get started with our show in just a minute or two, but uh, I just wanted to get on a little early and thank everybody that's been tuning in to the show. We've been doing it now, going 4.5 years strong on the Empower TV network. And we just wrapped up season four of our NFL show, so that won't start back again until July. One of my friends said, "I hope y'all ain't talking about sports tonight," and I told her, "No, no, it's all politics. We got a lot to get into." The show starts roughly at 7:05, so at the top of the hour, you will see a 5-minute countdown. But hey, I really, really just want to implore everybody to help us as much as you can. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. We really, really want to add some subscribers, and we really, really want to be able to grow the channel organically. So the more viewers, the more subscribers, the more people actually watch the show. Even if you can't watch the entire show, if you can go to YouTube and just play it, excuse me, let it run, that will actually help. So the amount of watched hours actually goes into it as well. But the biggest thing we definitely want you to watch, whether it's the live show or whether you watch it on the replay, whether you're watching it on LinkedIn, whether you're watching it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, all of those platforms, we greatly appreciate it. Um, we definitely want to get the word out. It's some trying times out there right now. We really need to talk about it and make sure that people are energized and engaged in what's actually going on in the world. There's some crazy stuff going on, y'all. We need to talk about it. We need to filter through a lot of that BS, um, and mobilize and be ready so that when elections come again, folks will understand why their voice counts, why every vote matters, and things of that nature. So, on today's show, we're going to talk about some of those things. We're going to talk about a lot of the fallout from Doge. We're going to talk about what it is that Congress is trying to do to cut benefits that will affect a lot of people, particularly those in the low income class, middle class, etc. So we definitely want to be able to understand what folks are trying to do while you're not looking. A lot of them, I do believe, are just trying to make you desensitized to things happening in politics. So if you don't care, they can just do stuff uninstructed. They're getting a lot of blowback and pushback right now, but I think that they're still counting on the grand majority of people out there to be so disaffected that they will throw their hands up in the air and just say, all politicians are dirty, corrupt, so on and so forth. And while I don't ascribe to believe that any political party is without their demons and skeletons in the closet, some people tripping over a whole lot of skeletons before they can even get to the closet. And like I've always pushed, you don't have to be in 100% agreement with any political party to really look at the ones that more align with your own self-interest. But I'm gonna tell y'all, every time they sit there and want to throw out stuff about trans people, black, brown people, throw out DEI and things like that, those are just distractions to keep you from looking at what's really going on. And I wish more and more people had realized that before November when they voted, because they like to throw out little things uh, to keep our eye off the ball. Well, y'all, it is the top of the hour. My producer is looking at me like I'm crazy. So I'm going to go for about 5 minutes. There'll be a countdown. So while that countdown is running, do me one quick favor. Make sure, no matter what platform you're on, share, share, share so other people can see what it is that you're watching. And hopefully they can come on, watch the show too, and get engaged. Let's have a conversation. It's not just about me talking. I want to hear what you guys think as well. We'll be back on the other side. See you.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he. And we are back for another week of talk. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh, feels good to be back. We are streaming live and direct. Excuse me. Itchy nose every time I'm there. We are streaming live and direct on Amazon TV, Roku TV. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook Live, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Please help us on our drive. I see we got some folks watching live on YouTube as we speak right now, and that's cool. If you haven't already, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, hit that little red bell, because it will always let you know when we are live or have added new content to our channel. We are on a drive of 10,000 subscribers, and you could help us reach that goal. It's a lofty goal because we don't even have 200 yet, but there's a lot of people that watch just haven't subscribed, and I know because they watch on multiple platforms that can be an issue. But as I said in the pre-show, would definitely love for you guys to be able to do that, because the more views, the more subscribers that we have, the show gets put out there on YouTube, and people can find us more organically than just our subscribers. Other people will be able to see the show. But no matter where you're watching, if you could help by just making sure that you share, whether you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and let other people know what it is that you're watching. This is a show that is all about you guys, because as much as I love to talk, I also love to listen and be able to uh, chime in and give feedback. So the more questions, the more things that you guys bring, I want to be able to have more of a conversation and talk with you more than just talk to you and at you. So we really want to make sure that you guys are involved. You don't have to have some kind of political science degree or be in a political job, because like I've always told everybody when we first started this show, whether you want to admit it or not, almost everything that we do involves politics one way or another. From how much does it cost to buy a car, buy a house, hell, buy a carton of eggs. There are some political things that are attached to that. And whether you look at it that through that lens, or whether you just look at it as just day-to-day living, there are political things that do happen that you need to be aware of. We need to be more engaged as a society. When I see people that are on my Facebook feed that I would count as friends not really understand how civics works. I remember taking civics in high school and learning about three branches of government. But I think you could walk down the street and ask random people what the three branches of government is. And I guarantee you that only about half of them would, if that many, would be able to tell you what the three branches of government are and how do they work. And is one branch of government any more powerful than the other branch of government? But there's a lot of people out there that believe that uh, if you tell them that there's three branches of government, um, um, branches of government. Anthony, I see your question. I'll get to it in a second. I don't know how many of them would be able to tell you that or explain how it works. Tell you, hey, how many members are in the House of Representatives? How many members are in the U.S. Senate? Uh, how does the judicial system work? Whether it's the federal judges, the Court of Appeals, and then how do things get to the Supreme Court? What is a shadow docket? and those kind of things. And why are all those things important? And why do you need to know that? So I want you guys to learn things that you really should have learned um, in civics class because and the way that I know that people didn't pay attention in civics class is because of the crazy shit that you post. And I know that if you paid enough attention in civics class, half of this stuff would not be so well. The things that disinformation that's out there, Lori, would not be out there if people had a good understanding of civics. A lot of times, just like where people will say, for instance, it doesn't matter who's in the White House. Presidents have very little control over gas prices, inflation. Now, can a president make inflation worse? Absolutely. Can they do things that are inflationary, like tariffs? Absolutely. Understanding how tariffs work. That's things that you can learn in a civics class so that you don't think that tariffs are something that is like some golden, if tariffs were a golden key to adding revenue to the US Treasury, I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump would not be one of the few presidents that uses it the way that he does. So I want to start to talk off number one about tariffs. And then Anthony, I'll answer your question about Epstein from what I've been hearing um, as well. Actually, let's go to that. CJ, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, and I'll bring you in, or Lori can bring you in. I'm sorry. Let me let the producer do her producer job. There he is. How you doing, sir? He good. He good. So before I get to tariffs, let me answer Anthony's question the best that I can. And if you guys know any more about it, feel free to chime in. Anthony says, and Anthony, first and foremost, thank you, brother. Anthony joins me on the sports show. Anthony joins regularly on Head to Head. So we do appreciate you, brother, um, for always coming in and asking thought-provoking questions. So first question of the night, what's this Jeffrey Epstein list? Is it really coming out? Um,
Mm.
I don't know if all of it is coming out. And the reason that I don't know if all of it is coming out, because when Trump was flat out asked about would he release the Jeffrey Epstein list, he was a little shaky on it. And I can understand why. Because what public information already is that Donald Trump showed up on Jeffrey Epstein's flight log several times. So people understand that when people fly on flights, whether it's a commercial flight, whether it's a private flight, there's a flight log of everybody that's on the plane. So anytime there's a flight, we know who's on the plane. So on Jeffrey Epstein's flight log, Donald Trump's name was seen a handful of times, as well as other people. I think Donald Trump is not going to put out anything that is going to incriminate Donald Trump. So will stuff come out and maybe certain things are redacted? I could see that. But do I think it'll be a fully transparent list of things? Hell no. Because listen, if you give the press a piece of thread to pull, they will pull it. So I don't want to necessarily say that. Oh, look at here. Well, the gang is growing tonight. Looks like we got the franchise coming in. Franchise, give Lori a thumb up when you're ready to join and she'll pull you in. So we don't pre-pull you. I don't like premature pulling. But whatever he is. Oh, he looks so good too. Right under me. How you doing there? So anyway, so Jeffrey Epstein list, I think this is more of something that a lot of conspiracy theorists have been looking at because of the whole child trafficking and things like that. So I think what Trump is trying to do is throw a lot of red meat out as well. Plus, I also think this too, Anthony, and maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist in some ways, but I don't think so. I think Trump is going to throw a lot of things out to take off the attention of the fact that he ain't done a damn thing about bringing down prices. Now, listen, I don't believe any president can come in on day one and make all the prices come down. But I also wasn't the same fool that campaigned on said promise that on day one I was going to bring the prices down, and then when the consumer pricing index comes out 2 weeks ago and it's gone up instead of down, then he says, "Well, I only been here 2 weeks, and it ain't on me." Yeah, it is, because you said on day one you was going to bring it down. You also said before you came into office that you would have gotten this Russia-Ukraine war over and done with before you even were inaugurated. So we really see how you're batting when it comes to the things that you campaigned on, groceries, eggs, and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll tell y'all at the somewhere in the show too about my idea for maybe having my own chickens at the house. But it's a possibility. I'm thinking about it, CJ. CJ laughing. I'm really thinking about it. Before I go any further, though, let me go around and see how my panel is doing. We may even have one more join. I think you said, Lori, in just a few minutes. Is that right?
I think so, yes.
All
He
right.
said around 7:05. So maybe got something came up, but
Well, no.
he's supposed to
It's
come up.
only 7:15. He's still early. Black folk time.
Yeah, CP time.
And speaking of Black folk time, may I go ahead and say before I acknowledge that Ramadan starts tomorrow. Is that right, Jermaine? Am I right? Ramadan is tomorrow.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. See, I try to stay up with stuff, but I know that y'all know that February is Black History Month. But did you also know that February is the kickoff to Merry Black Christmas? That is right. If you are a single woman who lives in the project, if you may be a little chunky, guess what? This is your time, because every brother out there is ready to help you spend your tax refund. That's right. It don't matter how big you are. Don't matter if you gained a little weight during the winter. Now that you got that tax refund in hand, Pookie, Tommy, Red, and all them are coming around the corner. So Merry Black Christmas should run through the end of April or whenever funds are expired. So Merry Black Christmas. How you doing, CJ?
Man, I'm dying, bro. I'm dying. I'm just trying to play with my little new equipment I got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know what you were dying from.
So how do I sound? This is a new mic.
Okay, it sounds good. I will say you are still
You said what
glowing.
now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're still glowing. So
Okay.
whatever she do
All right.
to you, it's still helping. You still not a prisoner,
All
are
right.
you? You still good?
Stop it. You're a prisoner. Stop it.
Oh
You know,
no, you're not a
blink
prisoner
twice.
when
Blink
you're
twice
not a
to get
prisoner when it's voluntary.
Okay, well, you can be. You know, I'm a prisoner.
Yes, sir.
Voluntary.
I'm a willing slave. I'm a willing slave.
Yeah,
Happily willing slave. Yeah.
I'm handcuffed
But
myself.
nah, yeah, I'm doing very well, man. Thank you.
All right, hey, that's good. That's good. Franchise owner of Jermaine Parker Realty. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, sir?
Man, living the dream. That's all I can say. That's all.
Yeah. Well, let me say, man. Get my.
What is that? What kind of cup mug is that? Is that brass?
It's copper because I'm.
Yeah.
Copper.
Like if you had a mule, a Moscow
Yeah, Moscow
mule or
mule.
something. That's where
Yeah,
you have it.
That's the last time I had one in my hand. I was drinking a Moscow Mule. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
He's drinking a mule. well, you need some ginger beer.
That's yeah.
Is that what that was?
I've got the ginger beer.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Very nice.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I think.
Oh, I heard the gluck.
Yeah. I think he's ready to have a hell of a show there. So that's good. He's got the ingredients for sure. Moscow Mules are the best.
Just letting you guys know up front how I think this week is going.
Oh. Okay.
This past month. How about that?
Yeah. Hey, this month has been a long year. Yeah. Ain't
Yeah.
that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Let's just say, my brother, we all understand.
Mm-hmm.
We may not know the specifics, but I'm pretty sure that we understand.
Oh no, it's all Trump and Elon. It's all Trump and Elon. No,
Yeah.
personally, I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, and this is the month and several months to come where we are in the FO period. Very nice.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely going to be an FO period where folks are going to hopefully start to understand that. And you know, here's the funny thing. I hear a lot of people keep talking about this isn't what I voted for. So before y'all jump in, this is what I want to say to everybody out there that keeps saying this is not what we voted for. The fuck it is. Yes, it is.
That part.
You
That
did
part.
vote for it. You voted for that
Yeah, you
and
did.
everything else that is going to come. Yes, you voted for it.
Yeah,
In
you
the
did.
words of the late great Maya Angelou, when somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them. This mother effer showed y'all for 4 years who
Exactly
he
who
was.
he was.
Then he told you in the campaign.
What?
Tell me one thing in the campaign of Trump, before I let you go, Jay, that made you believe that he had any interest at all about addressing your needs. Tell me one thing that he talked about on the campaign trail that wasn't about him.
Groceries.
The word groceries. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, I said groceries. I said groceries.
Groceries. I like my favorite word. I
No,
like groceries.
Terrence is his favorite word. He was alarmed by the word groceries. He said it like he'd never said the word before.
That's because he didn't.
And people,
That's because he
feel
didn't.
out, how many times has Trump actually gone and shopped for groceries?
Well, so here's the thing, and I'll cut to it real quick for you. And I apologize because I'm on the mic for my laptop. My mic's, I don't know what's going on with my setup tonight.
We can hear you
In
fine.
the famous words of Kendrick Lamar,
Uh-oh.
they not like us. They not like us.
Do it?
What they voted for was for them because they're not like us. They voted for all this stuff just not to happen to them. They were okay with seeing their neighbors lose their jobs, with seeing their neighbors deported, with seeing their neighbors be threatened and stuff, and protections taken away.
Mm-hmm.
They did vote for that. They just didn't. When they say so, just understand what they're saying, and what you should hear is, I didn't vote for this stuff to turn back on me. But
Thank you.
But the problem is that when you're handling a bucket of shit, as you
That
walk
part.
around, you're gonna get some on you.
Right.
Especially when
You can't.
especially when you're skipping with it.
Yeah, when you're skipping with it all happy and stuff, you're gonna get some on you.
That part, CJ, that part.
Especially when you're skipping with it, okay?
Yeah.
Let's
Skipping
just
with a
keep it all the way
bucket of shit.
100.
Don't cry about the splatter.
And that's what you're hearing right now from Republicans and people that voted for Trump,
Yeah.
is that they're crying about splatter. They still don't care about their neighbors. They're just concerned about the shit that's getting on their shoes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And to make to give an example of what my brother is saying.
Mm-hmm.
On the Fox, what is it? Fox 5, Fox 4.
Five fools, yeah.
The 5 fools. I like that.
It was really 4 plus Jessica Tarloff, so I guess
Yeah.
it is plus 1.
But the main one that sits up front
Jessica?
and call himself picking at everybody's tears and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, see, it was all fun and games until something happened to one of his constituents that he actually cared about. You know, it kind of goes back to that old saying that, I introduced to y'all before. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
That's right.
So whenever his constituent, the veteran, ended up being jobless,
Mm-hmm.
then now, hey, can we take it easy, guys, with the whole he called it doging or whatever he called it. And I'm like, oh, so you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. And CJ, that to the point, and I've been seeing a lot of people post things and stuff talking about, I voted for Trump, and my wife had got a promotion with the VA department, and then we had already boxed up stuff and started the moving process, and then we get there, and her job got eliminated through Doge, and then they'll say some cute shit like this, but I'm sure that was an oversight, and Trump didn't really mean for that to happen. And I'm sitting there going, "You still trying to defend him?"
Oh yeah,
And then
clearly he did not mean.
Look, Trump and Elon
right.
Musk, y'all could see some way.
Clearly he did not mean me, brother. You got to understand this. See, I voted for Trump. See, I'm a black MAGA.
I know he wouldn't do this to me.
You're right. And see, by me being a black MAGA and I'm a veteran,
Lord have mercy.
You know what I'm saying? Of course he didn't mean me. What are you talking about, brethren?
And then like the Venezuelans, I got on the last show where they were more than happy.
Jermaine, don't shake your head. Don't shake your head.
Venezuelans were more than happy with Mexicans getting busted out and everything else. And then they find out from Christy Nome.
They're not like us.
They're not like us. But then they find out from Christy Nome, oh no, your TPS status, oh, that's done too. No. And now they're on news talking about, yes, we feel betrayed. They told us this, they told us that. I'm sorry, what part about shithole countries and colored people did y'all not hear?
So before the election, one of the things that we talked about was that I talked about in Florida, especially where there's a large Latina population.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a monolith. They come from different places. And when they say those derogatory things, it's kind of the stuff that they say about other Latinos. And so, again, the theme of, well, it's not us. They're not like us. He's talking about the lazy ones. We're not lazy.
Or the criminal.
Or the criminal. We're coming here. We're trying to do the right thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a criminal. I'm just trying to make a way for my family and stuff. And the problem is that where the tone deafness is that, so how long have we been doing this show?
4 years. Almost going 5 and out.
So
nice.
I've been here. Nice. Because I'm late so much. I've been here at least a year and a half. And
you so stupid.
Together, right?
If you put it together,
happy.
I got at least a year and a half of seniority here.
That was good. That was good, Jermaine.
And in those 18 months,
man,
I consistently bring up the history of this country.
Oh God, yep.
And I don't know how they missed it, bro. I don't know how they missed it.
Well, that's why they're trying to get rid of the education department too.
Yes.
Oh man, listen. me.
Go for it, man. Take it in.
I feel a song coming on. I never thought the leopard would eat my face. No,
not the leopard would eat my face. There's a lot of leopard eating faces out there, and a lot of it, and I can't blame the leopard because you locked yourself in the room with them.
Of course.
But
a leopard's gonna do what a leopard's gonna do.
Okay, so I mean, realistically, you guys watch the news. We watch America's Funniest Stones videos when we were growing up and stuff. People do stupid stuff all the time and think that they're immune to gravity, the laws of science. I'm seriously. I mean people offer something.
Y'all thinking about stupid ass videos, right? Yeah.
How many people are still peeing on electrified fences? There's a lot of people who are out there in the find out stage of life because they have that around.
That's fact.
And so,
but see, even as they are finding out They are not learning. That's the point. That's the problem. That is the problem.
I think so. When I talk about this country, and I always, so my caveat is this: is that do I think every white person in this country is racist? I do not. I, as they like to say, I've got some white friends, and so I know some good people, right? But historically, the policies and the foundation of this country is. And a lot of people don't want to admit that because it says something about their ancestry, about the history of this country. But if you really, and that's why before it got really politicized, when we started looking into uh, the, the the causation of racism historically, I believe there was a name for it. I can't remember when we were. Hmm. Oh well, it'll come back to me. But anyway, the whole point is that a lot of people won't take that critical eye and look at history and go, "Oh yeah, this is why this was motivated by this. This is why we had that outcome in this." Um, and so, because that's why when they make the whole "Make America Great Again" thing, and people of color automatically go, "Well, when was that?" And it's the you know. Okay. Was it when women couldn't vote? Was it when black slaves? Was it when you had Japanese internment camps? Was it when you decided that you were world conquerors and you were in the Philippines and other nations and stuff like that, fighting wars that didn't have anything to do with you? I mean, there's a lot to unbox about the U.S. and their foreign policy, their domestic policy, where policing stems from in our country. There's a lot. So when people say I didn't vote for this, if they really were thinking about things that they could have easily, I mean, look, let's take 10 seconds and let's brainstorm some things that we could get rid of. That could save the U.S. some money. How about we stop subsidizing big oil? How
Yeah.
about we instead of trying to make deals with pharma, how about we stop paying for the research that leads to the development of these things and make them do it themselves if they're going to charge? Otherwise, the patent should be U.S. and we should be dictating to them what our costs are. How about gas subsidy? I mean, we okay. That was 10 seconds. Maybe a little bit more, but three things right there, and I probably saved you a couple $1 billion. Real billions of dollars, not the stuff that Elon
without firing anybody.
And I didn't fire anybody. Oh, and how about you tell your president to stay at home and stop going to sports events?
No, I want one more lap around the track, please. One more lap.
Oh my God.
I want to congratulate Tommy Tuberville for recruiting Patrick Mahomes at Oklahoma State.
Well, I wasn't really there when Mahomes was recruited, but I do know him. Oh, a bunch of damn things. They'll lie about any damn thing. Recruiting
Man,
And
as
that's the thing too.
as soon as that man opened his mouth, you know he lying.
When
As soon as he opened his mouth.
and you got to understand too, there are a lot of people out there in their own personal lives in relationships with people who lie to them, whether it be a wife, a child, a sibling, a parent, and they stay in those relationships and stuff because that's just what they do. And so, even though somebody's obviously lying, hey man, can I just borrow your car for a little while? Man, you ain't got no license. You ain't got no job. You ain't got nowhere to be. What you need my car for?
Right.
Man, I'll be right back. I'm just going around the corner. This man lied. And they still give him the keys. And they get mad when the person doesn't come back. Because that's not what they signed up for.
Perfect example, brother. Perfect example.
Exactly. They lie. But you know what? There's just I have accepted there are just people that don't mind being lied to. Some of them just accept it, embrace being lied to, because I started the pre-show talking about there are a lot of things that people should have and could have learned first and foremost in civics class.
Mhm.
Was it pre-show?
Yeah, I did one today. It was
Oh.
4.5 minutes before 7. So
Oh, I mean, I'll never be on time for it, but I'm just saying.
so sometimes I'll come on a little early and kind of let folks know that the show is coming and, start engaging with our folks out there. But one of the things is that you look at the way people post things, people that I've known for years and not know how stupid and ignorant they are on certain things.
Mhm.
You see some of the things that they post or repost, you then get an understanding that they weren't paying attention in civics class because a lot of these things were explained then. You talked about the 3 branches of government. I would put my paycheck on walking down the street, asking 20 people what the 3 branches of government are, and no more than 10 of them being able to tell me the answer.
Don't do that, bro. Don't.
Now, here's the funny thing. I bet you I could take newly minted citizens that had to take that class and could ask 20 of them about the 3 branches of government. And I bet you more than 18 of them would be able to tell me all 3 branches of government and how did they work in concert with each other.
Mm.
And that's the sad part because I think there is a stupid reality, not only among regular people on the street, but people in the other 2 branches of government that aren't in the executive that also need a civics lesson. Because my civics books taught me that there's 3 branches of government and they're all co-equal. And that would be legislative, judicial, and executive. Not one branch holds any more power than the other, and they all act as a checks and balance on the other branches.
Correct.
Just understanding that philosophy alone should tell you that was set up because the Constitution was never intended to have a monarch. That there was never intended to have an authoritarian. That you cannot consolidate power into one branch and have the other 2 branches relinquish, defer, and obfuscate their own power to the one. That's what my civics class taught me in high school. Shout out to Jade Harris, my teacher at West Charlotte High School. Thank you very much, Ms. Harris. Yes, sir.
Even if you skip school as much as some people did, you skip class, let's just say civics got past you in high school, whatnot. Okay. That was a program on TV. It was actually accompanied with music.
I know where you was going.
And it taught you the very same. Matter of fact, you can look at it as almost like a cheat code, my brother. Because it was kind of like Cliff Notes for those of us who would, let's just say, not as attentive and
was a conjunction function.
How a bill is made. They need to bring that back.
They should not have ever gotten rid of Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Man, if it was not for Schoolhouse Rock,
it wasn't Saved by the Bell.
No, sir. If you are not familiar with Schoolhouse Rock, it was actually broken down into I think it was 3 major categories: math, science, and history. Am I correct, Laura?
Yes, you are. Like I said, I hear the song about the bill, how a bill was made.
Slow down.
Yeah. So let's just say that you just wasn't the school type. Schoolhouse Rock taught you these basic civic laws.
Yep.
I don't know how it got past you. I really don't.
I don't either. CJ, I honestly don't know, because then when you start to realize some of these things people are posting, they're posting things that had they paid attention, they wouldn't post, because once they read it, they would go, nah, that don't make no sense.
That part.
Because then you would know I was homeschooled, LOL, just kidding. Anthony.
But
hence the reason. Hence
Gotta
the
learn
reason
that
why.
in school, too.
Hence the reason why Schoolhouse Rock existed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it's just amazing because you sit there and these people are like people that I grew up with or I know, and I'm sitting there wondering, man, how is it that you do not know some of the most basic things about
Basic
the way
stuff.
government works? I guarantee you, if I ask 20 people again, those same 20 people, how many representatives are in the U.S. House of Representatives? How many senators are in the U.S. Senate? Couldn't tell you. Tell me about the judicial branch.
So what I'll chime in on ignorance is that I have a mother. I've had wives, multiple, because I'm just that kind of guy. I've got daughters, no sisters, but I've got female friends. Yeah, I have aunts, all kind of stuff around me. But one of the things that I'm not familiar with everything that goes along with women's anatomy, um, in turn, I'm just not familiar with, and women's issues are not the first thing. Even though I have all these women in my life and I'm aware of them, they're still not the first thing that I think of personally every day because they don't really affect me personally every day. When we talk about government laws, there's a privilege. I don't know what kind, but there's a privilege in this country that allows people not to have to think about those certain things because all these things are set up to benefit me anyway. They don't really affect me.
Right, out of sight,
I don't
out of
have, yeah, I don't have to
Mhm.
know. I don't know. I don't have to know how the juice is made. I
mind.
just drink it.
Right.
I know the government's set up for me, and it's a good thing, and blah blah blah, and I don't have to pay attention to these things, the inner workings of them, because it usually works out for me, whatever kind of privilege I might have.
Right.
Yeah. Anthony,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anthony said, and I was actually going to say this, Anthony, before you put it in. Most people don't know how a bill is passed, and to Jermaine's point, they don't necessarily have to know all the nuances, like when certain bills have to be even brought out of a committee before it's put on the floor. The Speaker of the House is the one that determines if it's even put on the floor, and then there's a procedure that can be put on the floor even if the speaker refuses to do it, but it takes a lot more nuance to do that. There's certain things that have to get out of committee. Then once they get out of committee, then you open it up on the floor to debate whether it needs to be voted on. Then you go through the debates. There's certain amount of time that's set aside for debate. Then you go through certain procedures and things like that before it even then has to go over to the Senate, and either they can pass it in the current version that it's in, or they send a revised version back to the House. If the House don't want to pass it that way, then they have to do what they call reconciliation and come together, reconcile it to be okay. We're both good with this before it even then gets passed, before it then gets signed into law by the president. So there are a lot of steps in passing bills, and there's so many things that can derail it before it gets to that final conclusion. And to Jermaine's point, nobody's going to watch C-SPAN all day and watch all of the different parts of the, he says the Jews always think about it being more like a hot dog because you're taking some really disgusting parts and turning it into a hot dog. And nobody's going to watch that process because number one, if you watch the process, you probably don't want to eat the hot dog after it's done. And they'll just go ahead and eat the hot dog, not thinking about how it was. If I watched how a hot dog was made, I guarantee you I'll never eat another hot dog.
Well,
I've done it. It's
That's nasty.
country, man.
DJ actually makes his own homemade hot dogs.
Yeah. Yo,
He's-
but speaking, you made me forget what I was about to say, man. Never mind.
Nah, man, go on, tell about that 12 inches of meat that you be packing.
Some stuff don't need to be disclosed.
That's how he got it. That's how he got a new microphone.
Hey, look,
Hey,
he ain't the
man.
only one glowing.
Hey,
You know,
man, don't
exactly.
be giving away all the players' secrets.
That's how he got
Man.
the microphone, man.
I ain't the only one glowing, man.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
But seriously, the point I was going to make is that so you have to understand a couple things. Number one, Congress, lawmakers, Congress is actually set up to move at a snail's pace,
Yeah.
because the founding fathers actually they did do some things. They understood that not every issue in a certain part of the country was a national issue. And
Yes.
so that's why it's so hard to get some things passed because they just so perfect example of this is that Democrats thought that abortion was
Yes.
going to be a really, really big issue. And
Hmm.
what they found out was is that because it went back to the states and the states were deciding, and if you didn't live in Texas, everybody else kind of went ahead and said, "Yeah, we're going to protect abortion rights." Um, I don't know about Florida, but I know Texas is Texas. Texas be Texas.
Yeah.
But
They,
so
they be
you
Texas.
you can sit there and look at some of these things and go, "Oh, this would be a good issue to unite everybody with." But just like those bills and stuff, that it takes a lot because frankly it could be an abortion bill that I now have to go to CJ and CJ's like, yeah, my constituents are fine because my state has voted on that and stuff, but if you want my support, there's a caveat I'd like to add to your bill and then I'll support your bill. And that's how bills are built, trying to get support where people just slide more stuff in. And so a lot of people I see on social media are talking about the new budget that the Republicans are trying to get through and stuff, and they're like, "There's no tax on overtime. There's no tax on tipping. There's no tax on Social Security."
Hmm.
Why are the Democrats talking about that? Well, in the that's that part of the bill, sure. The other part of the bill, where they're making tax cuts for millionaires and they're gutting their other social service programs, which again I've never quite understood because if you look at the numbers, and I'm not saying I'm just numbers talking. It's not germane. You go look at your own numbers and stuff, and you say, but if you look at who race wise it benefits most from social programs, it's not black people. You were
Brother,
trying to
you
take the
can
ball
even break it
was
down
right
like
out of
this.
grandpa's pocket.
You can just break it down by the percentage of the population. Like that's something that we say on the show all the time. Regardless as to how much we are portrayed in the media, we are only 13.1%. This is a nationwide program, nationwide, not blue city and a red statewide. So even if you just look at it like that, who's going to be benefiting from all these government programs?
Yep.
DE and I.
We know
It's
we're used to the struggle. I should say it like this. I should say it like this. For the
DE.
majority of our culture, we're used to the struggle. I'm not talking about the exceptions to the rules. I'm not talking about the Sambos and people like that.
No,
All
you're right, and I was gonna actually go into that, and might as well go into it while we're kind of talking about it. But first, Anthony, I know what you're saying, but I will throw a caveat to your comment.
Uh-oh.
Anthony is if you see how Chinese food is made, I'm not gonna stop that lunch special be hitting.
now.
Anthony, that is only if you do not hear screeching cats and dogs will I afford you that on that one. But I think if I went to a Chinese restaurant and I heard screeching cats in the back, I don't care how that lunch be hitting because I'm gonna know why it be hitting. So I'm just gonna say it.
You know what? I apologize. That's racist.
It is. I'm sorry.
I apologize. I'm better than this. I really am. Not tonight, but generally speaking, I'm better than this.
if, I'm just saying if because if I saw that though, that would kind of make me think that is true. But anyway, the House of Representatives, because Donald Trump and Trump is, no matter what you think about Trump, and I wouldn't call him a tactician or a strategist by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, God, that
But
means he would have to have a brain. But
but but I will say he has some kind of cachet with these Republicans to make them do things that are going to come back and blow up in their face. And this is what I mean by this. Trump ran the whole time talking about,
I am not going to take away Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid.
he said that over and over and over. And he has continued to say that. He is not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. However, he has also told the Congress that he wants to be able to take the Trump cuts from 2017 that basically increased the debt by $7 trillion,
We remember. We all remember.
and that this disproportionately gave those cuts to high income earners and corporations. Some of those tax cuts are set to expire at the end of this year. Most
Mhm.
of the corporate tax cuts were made permanent. The ones that affect the individual high earners are the biggest part of it. About almost $4 trillion worth of it is expected to expire at the end of this year if Congress sits on their hands and does absolutely nothing. So this is what they understand. We can't create $4 trillion out of nothing, even though they print money like it's nobody's business.
Mhm.
So what we need to do is find a way to cut waste, fraud, and abuse and other expenses so that we have that room to be able to extend the cuts, because we've also got Freedom Caucus members in our party that are not going to sit there and just let us keep adding more money to the debt. Because like I said, Trump added more to the debt in 4 years than any other president has done that has had 2 terms. And there's some fiscal hawks out there in the Republican Party that they're not with that. But what they are okay with is because they've been trying to get done for a long time is discretionary spending. Discretionary spending normally falls into your Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid block. What they did in this thing that they just passed, and this is how ingenuous these SOBs are. We did not pass anything that cuts Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, and all that. That is somewhat true on the surface, meaning that if you read the resolution, it doesn't mention any of that.
Hmm.
But as they say, the devil is in the details,
Mhm.
such as the Commerce Committee is being tasked with cutting over $860 million from their part of the budget. Well, the Commerce Committee oversees Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP. Now, they also oversee other things too. But here's the thing: if you cut everything else but those out 100%, it still wouldn't come up to that 860 that they're being mandated to cut. Meaning that by default, you would still have to go and start cutting those other programs.
Exactabundo.
They just didn't specifically say which ones. But as Jermaine said a few minutes ago, if you do the numbers, you would know that the things that they oversee in these committees could not all be cut and those things be spared. So
Correct.
they have to be cut in one way or the other,
Mhm.
no matter
It's
what
called
they.
fallout. Fallout. Collateral damage.
But see,
Oops.
here's the
Oh.
problem, CJ. When the bill does keep advancing, and then the committees have to report back on, okay, you gave us 860, we're going to jack it all the way up to $1 trillion, and this is what we're cutting in that trillion. Then the specifics will have to be there.
Mhm.
So they can keep advancing and advancing it, but at some point they're gonna have to put it on paper exactly which programs are gonna be
Uh-huh.
and by how much. But right now they're
Mhm.
kind of putting lipstick on the pig and trying to use a little bit of plausible deniability, because right now they're getting a lot of pushback from people about other things like the indiscriminate cuts the Doge is making, laying people off, sending everybody that deals with nuclear
You're
weapons home,
frozen.
and then Ebola people working on Ebola home and then realize, oh shit, I guess we need to bring them back. Oh, I guess we need to bring our nuclear people back. They got too much other stuff right now, so they don't have to worry about this budget resolution. But what they're trying to do is get this resolution through a process of reconciliation so that when it goes to the Senate, it can pass without being filibustered. The Senate has a rule that even though there's 100 senators, most bills, some bills can only pass with a simple majority, 50 plus one. Other bills take 60, a supermajority, 60 vote. They don't have 60 votes in the Senate. They know
Right.
that even if the House passes it and they can't cross that 60 member threshold in the Senate, it's dead on arrival.
Right.
If they go through the process of reconciliation, which you can only use, I believe, once or twice a year, and you
Oh,
get everything into this one big bill to
right.
cover a lot of different things, debt ceiling, border spending, all these different things, and you get it done through reconciliation, you can pass it with a simple majority. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they want to force it through that way, because then they don't have to go through a filibuster.
Gotcha.
Go
But
ahead, Jay.
won't they?
Sorry, Lori. Go ahead, Lori.
But
No, wait, Lord.
but it's still at the time, all of these Republicans are hearing from their constituents. Well, from what I heard, or they're, according to Speaker Johnson, that there are planted Democrat protesters that are going to all these town halls because everyone is sitting here saying, wait a minute, this is wrong, and you're not sitting here and doing this. And all of the Republicans are saying, no, that's not what we said. We're fighting for you.
Listen, that makes about as much sense as whenever they were saying that that same group was planted during the protests of the Black Lives Matter. Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Like, when you gonna change up the lot a little bit?
Well, you know
I mean,
what? I do believe,
pizzazz it a little bit,
but
bro.
see,
So they really do expect for their watchers and their listeners not to believe their own eyes and
Yes.
their own faces, and them making their own TikToks and videos and reels.
but
Really?
CJ, here's the thing. Some of it may be true. There may be Democrats coming to some of these town halls. You know why? Because even if you're a Republican member of Congress, you have Democrats in your area that are your constituents.
Exactly.
And they have just as much of a right to be there as a Republican member that's in your constituency.
Right,
There
because
are
it's open to the public. It's a town hall.
now when it gets wonky is when they start going, yeah, these are paid actors, these are paid people just to come in and start trouble and things like that. Okay, number one, there's no evidence of that. And number two, if that's what you tell yourself to sleep better at night, then that's fine. But if you really believe that, now why are y'all sitting there canceling your town halls? I remember years ago when the same thing happened, when they were trying to repeal and replace Obamacare, and they kept saying, having town halls, the same thing was happening, and they kept saying, oh no, these aren't really my constituents, these are people being brought in from out of state, they're not even in my district, yada yada yada. So CJ, to your point, they just recycle and repeat the same lie over and over, to the point that then when the midterms came and they lost 46 seats in the House.
Exactly. Oh, then all of a sudden it became real. That's what I said.
Yeah,
Wash, rinse, repeat. It's the same thing, man.
So I do believe that they are headed for the same outcome in the midterms, and I think that's why, and I think Trump knows that too. This again is why I say Trump is not maybe strategic or tact, but he has some kind of cachet, because these Republicans can continue to run for office as the Constitution is right now until the Supreme Court changes it. Trump is term limited and he cannot run again. So he's going to get in everything that he can before the midterms, because he knows as well how unpopular what he's trying to do is, and that there's a good chance that he's going to lose the majority in the House in 2 years. And basically the last 2 years of his presidency, will probably be very lame duck. And because think about it this way: if Hakeem Jeffries becomes the Speaker of the House,
Speaker of the House,
could you see Jasmine Crockett, Jamie Raskin now being the chairs of committees, hauling Robert F. Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel's asses into committee hearings? He already know that that's hauling Elon Musk's ass after 2 years into a committee hearing and saying, turn on the mic and let's testify.
Yeah, because hold on, wait a minute, help my memory out because I'm a little older now. Isn't Musk so-called made up job? Isn't that one limited anyway? Was it like 2 years or like a couple months or something? Or all of a sudden they're gonna find a loophole for that one?
Special employee. I don't know if there's a limit on being a special employee, but
there's a
because
limit
I knew that's what they was trying to say.
Work per year.
You said about a year, right?
It's about a year. You don't have to. If you're a special employee, you only work X amount of days. I forget what it is. I think it's like 120 days.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's how they were selling the idea to the.
They could easily work around that because who's accounting for that? Everybody that would be able to throw a red flag. I mean, you saw what they did in the cabinet meeting yesterday. Hey, Mr. President, we hear some people don't agree with Doge that much. What do you say to that? Well, I'll let the cabinet tell me. Anybody who don't like Elon? Anybody don't like Elon? We'll throw them out. And they all just started going, of course we love Elon. Ain't nobody in their right mind gonna tell them, oh no, we think this is bullshit. Ain't no way. So nobody, the president on purpose did not put anybody in his cabinet this time that is going to tell him no.
And that was the whole point.
That was the point.
That was the whole point.
Last time he thought he could have people that were career people in certain places and it not be a problem. He learned the wrong lesson. That if he wanted to sit there and be a dictator, if he wanted to be an authoritarian, he had to break down the system.
Exactly.
That's why Schedule F employees, career apolitical figures, could not be in those positions because they would be the guardrails that would prevent him from making things even worse than he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Now he wants employees into political appointees so that they all serve at the pleasure of the president.
Right. And so that's why I was like, I couldn't, whenever you do like the big picture view. And I have to agree with you, man. Like, I don't think it was his exact strategy to do this, but it was a brilliant plan.
Yeah.
As far as the first thing you're doing,
go to Congress.
Right.
When they bring him that bill, he's going to say,
well, I didn't want to get rid of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, but this is what your representatives have brought me. And because of some of the input that I gave them, I made it better.
Right. That part.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like there was like a plan for 2025, maybe like a pet project. But
a project of 2025?
Yeah, just spitballing.
I never heard of it.
You could write a whole book and maybe
I never heard of it.
Pages or something.
Maybe. And that's what's crazy when people say they didn't sign up for this when everybody told them to read.
Yes,
and the blueprint was right there for them to see exactly what they were going to do, what they were trying to do.
See, Jermaine, you done messed up. Jermaine, you done messed up. See, you done said a word. You said a kryptonite word, sir.
Read.
You said that they were told to read.
I knew he was going to say that.
You know what, man? That's fair.
It is fair. It is fair.
That's fair. That's a fair analysis, CJ. That's pretty solid and on the nose. Yeah.
Look, watch this. Watch this.
It's a low bar, but that's where we're at, really.
Yeah,
What?
no, that's a fair assessment. You're right. I take back everything I said.
I'm just serious, man. I'm sorry.
No, but
I'm just serious.
Hey, look, I say this as somebody, I consider myself a patriot. Whether anybody listening to the stuff that I say considers it not, like, you're not a patriot. I'm like, I bet I'm more than you are, at least through action. Indeed, I've got 25 years serving the country. One up me on that. But with all that, and for years, on here, I've always talked about, when we talk about politics and representative stuff, stop voting for Republicans, stop voting for Democrats. Black and brown people need to have their own separate party. I've even suggested that it could be called, I don't know, Black Panthers, whatever. You choose your own name. But you should, in order to really move within the system, you don't need people to come once a year or once every 2 years to clap on Sunday off beat, and you try to explain to them what your issues are. You need people who and Democrats. Let me tell you this, because I got a lot to say. But Democrats are in on it too. Because there's no way
they are complicit. Yes, they are.
There's no way that you can tell me the Democratic Party is this incompetent to things that are clearly illegal and should be challenged. There's no way you can tell me that career politicians don't know that the power of the purse lies with them. So the president can't make a department that controls what their part of it is. That's like him making a judicial review to review all the laws and stuff, and telling the Supreme Court, well, you need to listen to this department that I appointed over you. You can't do that. The whole fact that, first of all, and I know it's been said 1,000 times, he's a non-citizen. He's an African.
Hello.
All of a sudden, white people love Africans. Where'd that come from?
They love the white Africans, because Trump even said, hey, we can get rid of the Venezuelans and the Mexicans, but any white Africans that feel like they're being mistreated in Africa, he's willing to let them come to the U.S. and get status.
Well, I mean, if you got $5 million, you get that gold.
I just say you got the golden jet. You got the.
But now he says, yeah, we could take them in, and then they say, well, what about the people from Ukraine? Well, that's kind of far. There's a lot more water.
Oh,
what?
He's an idiot. Look, he says this stuff.
Man, where's my rock? Man, somebody got a rock.
He says that stuff. There's a lot of water in between.
And that's why so my new thing is not even having our own political party. My advice is get your passport and go somewhere else. You know what? What I didn't realize was there was an old racist man who used to say, y'all need to go back to Africa and stuff. I think he's right. If we all left, who would they blame?
See,
now
I said that too.
That's interesting. Maybe we might get how would you say this? We might end up seeing history repeat itself whenever they left their original country.
Let me tell you what happened if we all left. They would get on ships and come get us.
Exactly. I was saying
that, and that's why I said what I said. It's gonna be.
We're gonna be sitting there it again. They're gonna sit there and park that big ass boat right up on the shore, and they're gonna try to bring us right back and say, "Hey, this ain't working out like we thought. Y'all got to come back."
I mean, because I love the stories of we built this country, and I'm like, yeah, not all of it. There were some parts that, like that railroad you're so proud of. Yeah, we built that.
Well,
yeah.
What part?
The funny part is, Trump's children will always talk about wrongly how Trump built the New York City skyline. But
Oh,
they will
wow.
not acknowledge the fact that he's sitting in a house built by a bunch of Negroes.
See, evidently,
Did anybody ever miss that?
hold on.
They said the general contractor was white.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's
DC.
good. That was good. That was real good. That was dead on.
Sitting there like,
That was dead on.
you saying all that while you in a house that was built by slaves. You need to stop.
Well, no, he really doesn't stay there. Doesn't he stay at
Yeah, because otherwise the ghost in that house be chasing his ass around. I might go up there and die in that motherfucker just so I can haunt it.
Well, not to say he stays in Mar-a-Lago, but the place in New Jersey. Like, I don't think he sleeps there. I think he flies back and forth.
Where do people sleep? Where's Melania?
Oh,
she's in
down
her own place
Florida.
in another state.
I told you when she wore that fucking Carmen
San Diego hat outfit.
He was trying to tell y'all right there. Catch me if you can.
The world is
Carmen San Diego.
The last time you see me.
Okay, Gumshoes. Can you help us find Carmen San Diego?
San Diego.
Now, on a separate note, y'all did know that Trump tried to come out with this meme stop, and then Melania tried to get on the same bandwagon, and she came out with one too that was $ Melania. Well, when you look at the $, it looks like a S, so it looks like smell on it. Can't even make this up.
God.
Looks like Melania, which is appropriate.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe is that the new Be Best campaign?
Look, if this have to bring back, look, how you gonna talk about education, taking away education, and your wife cannot speak grammatically correct?
Look, first of all, the grammar for a stripper is very low bar.
That's true. Because they were never intended to talk much.
No,
exactly.
Because
if you're talking, then you're doing too much of one thing and not enough of another.
I can tell you right now, still to this day, you can go on the internet and see nude pictures of the first lady. So
it's still there?
I'm sure it is, because it's Be Best.
Hold on.
Boy, listen.
I'm dead. Dead.
Well, they got to keep them pictures up because they ain't got no new photos after the inauguration. They're like, well, you want to know what she look like?
You couldn't see her because she was.
Look, I'm going to give them a pass on this one because, listen, you damn sure didn't want to see Barbara Bush up on no internet.
Oh.
You know what? You
I don't know.
Be nice,
like, the last name Bush. That means she
Laura Bush looked like she kind of kept together. So I think that might have been all right. Or Nancy Reagan. You damn sure didn't want to see that. No.
Just say no. Just say no.
I got a little vomit.
We need to get that frying pan with the egg and just say no. Just say no.
I'm not saying that I be on no sites trying to find Nancy Reagan. I ain't saying that.
Yeah.
I see what you be doing, Brian.
Alternate control delete. Alternate control delete. We ain't doing that, y'all.
That's 2:00 in the morning nightmares. You wake up in a cold sweat. Oh God, yeah. Anyway, that's damn nasty. So on another subject about hating black people. So here's a rich one, and this goes for when airplanes started crashing and falling out the sky and everything else. First thing that gets blamed on is some DEI.
Man, I'm so sick of this.
Before any report, any investigation goes, it had to be because we have now accepted a world of mediocrity where we are having to give positions to people that didn't earn it, but we had to give it to them based on a particular demographic that they fall into. Because everybody understands that it doesn't matter how much schooling somebody has gotten. There's no way that they could ever beat out somebody that is non-melanin. So one of the things that happened was Pete Hegseth,
That's just what I was thinking of. Yeah, man.
our Secretary of Defense, whose history is a little bit of military time, but more recently the weekend anchor for the Five on Foxhole, sat there and decided that our black chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff was not qualified enough to be in the position that he was in, even though he was a former helicopter pilot that had flew numerous missions, extensive background in the military. And you take somebody with Pete Hegseth's credentials telling this man that he's not qualified.
That in itself is
Bullshit.
I was about to say it's laughable, but and not only that, because it wasn't even only him, it was the whole entire Joint Chiefs, the whole entire Joint Chiefs of Staff. Like who?
Well, the thing, so a couple things. Number one, simply because somebody served time in the military doesn't make them a good person. I served enough time to know that, especially people that served as little time as he served, there's a reason that they did not serve all 20.
Come on, brother. So go ahead and say it.
The other thing too, when you talk about General Brown, is that his resume speaks for itself.
Yes,
he's obviously not some DEI hire, but the retired general that they want to replace him with isn't even qualified to be chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff and needs a waiver from the president to take the position. So if you want to talk about some DEI stuff, that's what's so crazy about their cabinet members, the new Joint Chiefs of Staff, everybody that's around them is exactly why DEI was introduced, because they were mediocre white dudes. And again, I love you white people. I'm not just picking on you. I'm just saying that they are. Pete Hegseth is a mediocre white dude. He is. He has no business commenting on the resume of a 4-star.
That's kind of an insult to mediocre white people, though.
Oh wow!
You know, I'm trying to because I don't want to say mediocre white dudes, because it's way too blanketed kind of thing.
It is.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna work on it. I don't have the words today to clean it up, but I'm gonna work on that and try to find out. But the point being is that everybody has a range of skill sets and stuff, and these guys are in the middle of that range at best.
Right.
And so it's just amazing that, you bring that up, and I was thinking about that. I couldn't do anything but laugh and stuff. But like I said, man, hey, y'all, get your passports, leave the country, and let them. And they won't have to worry about DEI. They won't have to worry about the losing their job out to somebody else, and
man, we've been hearing all these dog whistles for so many years.
Well, they're train whistles.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like seriously, Jay, like I'm with you. I'm all about just sitting back and just getting some popcorn.
Oh yeah,
chilling back and just watching the show, man.
I'm serious. The show. I laugh, but yeah, I am sitting back. I'm enjoying a drink, and I'm just watching the mayhem and stuff. And I'm thinking, man, it sucks to be y'all. I'm not a federal employee anymore. I don't care nothing about that. Most of the resources and stuff that I use, it is, I'm not on Medicaid, Medicare yet. And quite honestly, my life's not set up for me to have to depend on those services and stuff. So all the stuff that's happening, now don't get me wrong, eventually he's going to stay long enough, because I think we talked about it, and I predicted that we would be in one or two conflicts within a year.
Definitely.
And not just because I think so, because he's basically said, the Chinese are taking over the Panama Canal. We need that back for whatever reason. He thinks Greenland is a strategic location, which I'm not sure why he thinks that is, unless he's trying to defend against Europe, because I know he's not trying to defend against Russia.
No,
But, the U.S. has turned into the bad guys on the international scene, voting against UN resolutions condemning Russia's invasion, basically telling Ukraine that you shouldn't have picked a fight with Russia, which people say is insane because they invaded. But what Trump is saying is you should have just conceded the land that he wanted and let it be.
Really saying.
That's what he's saying. Not that you started the fight.
He believes that Canada should concede land to him. He believes that Mexico and Greenland and Panama should concede land to him. So how am I going to tell Putin he's wrong when I want to do the same damn thing?
I want to do the same thing.
Right. Like I said, he gets his ideas from actual dictators, from actual authoritarians.
We get close on time, so I did want to put this out here to all my Muslim sisters and brothers who decided they were going to sit out the election because you didn't like the way Joe Biden handled the Palestine thing. How's that whole resort thing from Trump working out from you? That's probably a good idea, not vote, right? You showed them.
That's that protest vote.
That protest vote, man, that worked out really well, didn't it? The thing is that you can complain, but you got to understand what's on the other end for you. And you knew who he was, and don't pretend like, well, I never thought he'd make a resort out of it. I'm surprised that's the only thought he's had for
it. I'm sure he has a Trump Tower license ready to go in Gaza.
Oh, please believe he
talks about turning it into the Riviera.
Yeah, and so you think Joe Biden's still selling weapons and not really condemning, and don't get me wrong, I'm with you on could they have done more sooner? Yes, absolutely, I believe so. I don't know what Israel holds over the United States. I sincerely don't.
I was actually going to say that part because if you're blaming Joe Biden on his position, you are also criticizing the U.S.'s 60-year-long way of handling Israel to begin with, and the kid glove they use on Israel. Joe Biden was just an occupant of a seat of long-standing tradition with the way that we deal with Israel.
Joe Biden to the end was, I believe in tradition.
Yes.
And so that went through his foreign policy and stuff like that. Again, I don't agree with the way the United States in general deals with Israel. Not at all.
Not at all.
I think like Netanyahu should be in a jail somewhere.
Exactly.
He was up on charges before.
He's up on charges,
right?
And that's why Trump likes him because like Putin, they're all criminals.
Yes, yeah, they love it. They love it, and they love the fact that holding on to power keeps them one foot out of that jail.
Yeah, and Trump is still floating the idea of a third term, and people think he's joking. He's not joking.
He's not joking.
He's not joking at all. Not one iota.
And you can see in I was going to say the vice president. What's my man's name? Because I know he
Vance.
Huh?
Elon Musk or JD Vance.
JD Vance. Thank you. Because they said the first thing they did was got JD out of the country.
Who was he?
And told him to go to Europe and berate our allies. But JD Vance said that the court shouldn't be telling them what's right and what's wrong. I am telling you, this is a prelude to them trying to sneak in a third, fourth, fifth term, as long as they can keep him alive for Trump and set the precedence for dictatorship. Because there's going to be a point in the Supreme Court is going to find out they're effing around. They're about to find out, trying to give him godlike powers and stuff. That
he's going to get rid of them.
He's going to get rid of them, or he's just going to ignore them. Because it's not like the Supreme Court has an army.
I think he's going to tell them that I don't need y'all anymore.
I don't need y'all anymore.
You don't exist anymore. Those just cut your ass.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
Also
if
think
I
it's
remember
gonna
the
be the
rise.
Manchurian Candidate movie.
Well, I
That's
mean,
what it
if
is.
you watch Star Wars, if I remember the rise of the Emperor and stuff, he got rid of the Congress. And that's what,
Exactly.
Hello.
Then he got rid of them.
Exactly.
All,
And
all you
people
got to
think
do is
that
just watch Star Wars. That's all
think
you got
that's
to do.
far-fetched. And as long as they keep saying that's just him talking, he don't mean it. He ain't really gonna do those things. And then he turn around and does them. You wouldn't have
yeah,
thought any American president would ever sit there and take an ally and say, if you want us to defend you, you're gonna sign over your damn mineral and rare mineral rights to us so we can make money back off of all of the aid that we have given you. Yes, Ukraine. He is trying to strong arm them out of the minerals under their damn feet and say, you're going to sign this agreement and we'll sell these rare minerals that you have and make a profit off of that to put money back into the treasury that we paid out for your war with Russia that you somehow started because you wanted to move over to Western things and join NATO, and Putin didn't want you to become a NATO country because there's an article in NATO that says any attack on one is an attack on
Attack
all.
on all.
He
That's
knew that
right.
Ukraine became a NATO member and he wanted to annex more land. He wouldn't be able to do that because then everybody else would come up Putin's ass.
Exactly. It would be an act of war. Exactly.
Exactly. So he knew that. So that's a crazy thing. Before we get about here, y'all, I'm gonna switch over to another topic that I saw on Facebook that I thought was hilarious. So because we always go serious with our politics, but I did want to throw in this nice little clip. It's only a minute long. I thought it was hilarious. Tell me what you think about it. Here it is.
So y'all, please help me understand this. My lights got turned off. So I called my baby's father and asked him if he could get my lights turned on for me. He said no, because I have a husband and that's his responsibility. How is that his responsibility to pay my lights to get turned back on after they get turned off? That you have kids that stay here. You don't care about your kids? I understand that I have a husband, granted, don't beat me up over it, but we fell on hard times. So as my baby's father, I feel like you're supposed to pick up the slack. So you rather for your kids to be in the dark than to help your baby mother get her lights turned back on? What if I didn't have a husband? Would you have helped me then? These men is crazy. Sir, help me get my lights turned on. Don't worry about my husband. He's doing what he's supposed to do as a man. As my baby daddy, you should be helping me. So
would you rather kiss me for 100?
Hold the. You almost make me cuss. Look, bruh. First of all, is this a skit?
No.
No. This has to be a freaking skit.
That's right to walk
And
off.
I'm trying not to cuss.
Because it's this.
How did
you sit here and say this? Talking about I have a husband, but my license, like, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
What?
Listen, is this a generational thing?
Man.
No.
I'm sitting there going, do women really think that?
No. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
I need something stronger. I need you to pass that over here.
Jermaine, you know I don't drink. Pass me the cup. Pass me the cup.
That's crazy.
So to be honest with you, yes. A couple things real quick, and I'm real quick because I could take an hour to explain this. I really could. A lot of these women have been raised by a lot of other single women who have taught them some things. If you go to buy a car and you say, I need something durable, I'm gonna be hauling rocks, furniture and stuff like that, you need a truck. If you say, well, I'd also like that truck to be really, really fast because I like something sporty and stuff. Okay, well, you either want a truck or you want a sports car. The best we could do is like an SUV. But the thing about an SUV is it's not really a truck and it's not really a car. It doesn't do these things well. If you want a grown man, but you also want somebody to cook for you and rub your feet and cater to you and stuff, you're asking for two different men. Now you can find one that'll compromise, but he's not going to be very good at either one of the streams of those things.
He's going to do one a little bit better than the other.
But the other, just what it is. This whole expectation of what should be happening and how people should be catering to you is crazy. These women are crazy, and I believe that she's for real. She's like, I got a husband and he is doing everything he's supposed to do,
except keep the lights on.
Thank you.
You know, here's the thing.
Don't you need
Child support.
electricity?
Child support is for non-active fathers. It's not for failed relationships. If you care about your children, why don't you send them to their father's house where the lights are on, and you and your husband can stay in the dark.
In the dark.
There you go. And y'all deal with that.
It's again. I'm gonna calm down because I could explode for an hour.
Well, it was just the fact that it was just.
It didn't hit a certain. It didn't hit a certain nerve, did it, Jay?
Man, the entitlement, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. It's crazy.
Because I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that the dude probably takes care of his kids. But now she want him to basically sit there and subsidize what she can't do, as if that's his fault.
Right? No.
Absolutely not.
See, I was with you until you said one thing.
What was that?
I would have reworded it just a little bit and said for the things that she refused to do, not for the things that she can't do.
Yeah,
because she need to get up off of her behind.
They done fell on hard times
and contribute.
He needs to come in and add more to it because they fell on. Now, what would you have done if I didn't have a husband? Well, I would say, well, send my kids over to me.
Exactly.
And figure it out. My
same answer
is with my kids, not you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
If there's no food, in the house, I'm not going to fill the fridge for everybody to eat. Send my kids over here and I'll feed them.
And I'll feed them.
My kids won't go hungry.
Right.
You, on the other hand, stand
the fact that you're trying to use the kids as a reason that he should do it is another one of them issues too. Again, you try to my kids as leverage.
That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show.
And you know what? When I bring up my other podcast, that my Tokyo-ish podcast, that's one of them subjects that we should talk about with some cigars and some drinks and go a whole hour and a half, 2 hours on.
Oh, it'll be my last show.
I'm with that. I am definitely with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be canceled. I'll be canceled.
Listen,
they probably gonna find out where I work.
Now.
No.
They gonna make my job fire me.
No, we gonna put this so deep on. Okay, we gonna put this so deep on Spotify. Your job ain't gonna be able to find it.
Listen,
no, because I'm probably gonna be sending out links because I believe in this.
Listen.
At least wait till the podcast turn profitable.
I was always told.
When you believe it in your heart.
Listen, I was always told to spread the good news. Right. I was always taught to spread the good news. Okay, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go amongst the highways and byways and say that with my chest. Okay.
Well, I think Herschel Walker's son said it best.
Get home and raise your kids! Oh my gosh!
Yes, sir.
I knew that. That's going to get old. Anyway, we ran over just a little bit, which is fine. It's fine. We did good, producer.
No, I wanted to do my little thing. I told you.
Oh, you did. Okay, producer. She has a public service announcement for all her Girl Scout cookie lovers out there. It is that season because Lori showed up the other day with some Samoas, and I rightfully crushed the hell out of them. They are gone. And I've already been working on the Thin Mints. So, yeah, it's already that time. She has somebody she works with.
My friend Regina, her daughter Armani has has her digital page now. As I said, with Girl Scout cookies now, because they've gone, necessarily if you work with them, they can bring the cookies to you, but you can have them delivered and they can be mailed to your home. So this is her link. Please help Armani get her goal. She is close to it, but hey, we need to bring her over the finish line.
Hey, quick question. You said her mom's name is Regina?
Yes.
You got any problem with their lights?
No, they do not. They do not.
Okay. Well,
So that's all I wanted to sit here and to say that please help Armani with her Girl Scout goal and order some cookies. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, before I ended too, I did bring up about having a chicken coop. Did you know you could go to Tractor Supply Company and buy 10 chickens for about $50?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Did you know you could go to Amazon and get you a condensed chicken coop for about $250?
Mm-hmm.
They got some nice coops out there. I wouldn't get one of them. I'd get one of them nice coops.
They got a nice,
it's a nice one.
Yeah, they got some nice ones on Amazon.
Yeah, it can hold them. And if you got enough of a backyard, you could literally get you some chickens, get you a 15-pound bag of feed, $15 bag of feed, and these chickens. I was talking to a lady about it at CVS the other day. I said, "Well, how many eggs a day do you normally get?" And she says, "Anywhere between 8 to 9."
Yes. Yes.
So
Lori said, "What are we gonna do with all them eggs?" I said, "We're gonna put a sign in the yard that say a dozen eggs, $6.99. Come get it."
Ooh, bro, listen. I told you that my brother is considered an urban farmer. The first thing he did his chicken coop, and he's running his own egg business right now.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't a bad idea,
It's not. It's not.
And these memes,
he got people beating down his door every week.
I saw a meme today about a dude getting his hair cut and paid the barber with an egg, and the barber wanted 2. He said, he said, "One more." So he looked at his cart and he's like, and gave him another egg. So
man, listen,
you're seeing all these memes now.
Those bartering times gonna come back, bro. I'm telling you, they're coming back. Time is reversing itself.
I walked in the kitchen the other day. Lori just indiscriminately cooking 4 and 5 eggs. Like, what are you doing? Are you crazy?
She said, "I'm flexing on them."
Listen, I'm the one who went to the store.
Hey Jay, it ain't tricking if you got it. It ain't tricking.
That's right. It ain't tricking if you got it.
$10.
It ain't tricking if you got it, baby.
You don't right to cook no 5 eggs at one time. You better slow down. You better get off them shoulders.
Excellent.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Wrap it up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're starting to exaggerate this.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question about that.
Yeah, I'm taking it to the extreme.
and Donald Trump's at home. I don't get it.
What are they talking about? Oh, groceries. The word grocery. I said groceries.
Groceries.
Like they responded to you saying groceries.
I didn't know I could see groceries.
Idiot. I don't know. Is this your king? In the words of Killmonger. Is this your king?
Your king?
Boy.
Jesus.
Boy.
Anyway, y'all.
Not my president.
Not mine either. Don't blame us. We voted for the black woman.
That part.
And I did not make that up. If you go to Roland Martin's Unfiltered website, he does have shirts that do say that. So I think he came up with that shirt. It's definitely on his site. Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up. Yes, sir.
One more thing, guys. Don't forget. The protest is tomorrow.
Yes.
The protest is tomorrow.
Jermaine can't eat nothing.
Okay. So let's keep our money in our pockets tomorrow. Okay.
Or in our community. Quit counting Lori's pockets. Yashika, I love you. Lori's pockets. Hey, I put some of that in them pockets for them eggs too now. She's sitting there just deviled eggs, not deviled eggs, egg salad just sitting in the refrigerator right now. How many good eggs had to die for that cause?
Evidently not enough.
I'm not worried. They should be going down any day now.
Oh yeah. Oh, eggs are definitely on their way down. So is gas, housing prices, cost of everything.
Yep. Unemployment. Yep.
Unemployment's going down.
All of that.
How unemployment gonna go down when you keep firing people?
You know, I was wondering about that.
I never
what do I know?
thought.
How are you gonna have people paying into the taxes and stuff when you keep firing them? Anyway, I could go a whole nother half. I'm sorry, Lori. I'm sorry. I've been wrapping up for 7 minutes now.
5 minutes. Yeah.
7. Jermaine and his Tito's, they look very nice together. I don't think I've done anything like that, like that in a long time. So anyway,
I got a month without it, so I gotta.
Oh, you're getting it in because of Ramadan. Oh, that makes sense. Well, go ahead and take the whole to the head, then, bro.
No, that's not how it's supposed to work. But so just.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell nobody. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't tell nobody.
I ain't gonna tell nobody. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. She keeps looking at me like I'm ready to hit this damn button. Okay, Lori, we're gonna hit this button. Thanks everybody for tuning in another week. Head to Head. We'll be back next week, where we will have a new producer. But anyway, thank you, producer, for everything that you do. And thanks to Lori, CJ, and the franchise. We will see y'all again next week. Peace.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta